wanted to do a quick box opening. You get this piece of paper from Mark, and got my order here. And he wrote thank you on that. Thanks, Mark. And first thing I see, it looks like the piece for where your wheels go and where it sits. Your drum sits on there and your wheels go on here. Got a Hunsaker sticker. Looks like we've got cooking grate. These go along the sides, I believe, to move the grate up. Here's the vortex basket. This looks like the heat shield. Looks like we got a couple of wheels in here. Okay, so I took the vortex basket out. Got some more parts. Looks like my ergonomic handle wheels. Ooh, look at that, that's pretty. I believe this goes on the bottom to control flow on the bottom. Looks like I got more Hunsaker stickers. Awesome, there's the bottom, and then here's part of the lid as well, or the hinge for the lid. After we opened up all the parts, I wanted to quickly go through and get your tally for all the bolts that you're gonna need. You'll get all of these bolts in a bag. The front wheel, at least the bolts are attached to this. The ergonomic handle, the smokestack, and the hinge bolts are all in here. I want to point out that for the foot damper, you should get these 3 longer bolts. This locking one is for this hole. These 2 are going to be drilled to stop the foot. Got my steel drum, picked it up for 20 bucks. I want to walk you through my process real quickly about how I found the back and the front. I used the drum seam to align the back B, and then I marked it up at the top, and then I wrapped a piece of paper all the way around it, the packaging that came with it, tied it off there. I eventually folded the paper in half, and I ended up with this line after I folded it in half, and this is my front. I flipped over my drum. This is the bottom. So I wanted to find center, so I took my ruler, I measured it up. Right here, I marked 6" on a 12" ruler. I went to another location, I did 6" again, went to the middle and marked them, and I used a punch to create that. And I'm gonna do a 2 1/4 inch hole directly center. Okay, drilled through it, our 2 1/4 inch hole. Took me a minute. I recommend getting a file and filing all down these edges. They're pretty sharp. Okay, for the next section, I'm installing the bracket where you put your back wheels. Again, you find your B. I measured this was 18 inches long, so I found 9 inches as the center. And again, I lined it up with the back of the seam. And then I found my new center, which is there. I aligned it there. I took a black Sharpie, I rubbed it there, and then I poked the bottom and rubbed the bottom of each side. And then that should leave those 2 marks for your drill spots. For this part, we're going to talk about the front wheel. The front wheel, again, comes with all the bolts attached to it. So make sure you keep everything together once you put it in there. And then you'll need to take them off so you can line up the holes towards the front. So this is the bottom of my drum. And the reason I did that is because this is the holes where, at least on the outside of where my wheelbase in the back will be. And I kind of wanted a reference point all the way around, just kind of where the heat shield would sit. So I traced a line. I also wanted to double check that the spacing didn't interfere with the holes. And when you lift it up, I've kind of got a mild trace there, and it should sit on either side of it. Let me get this. So my thought is, if I install it here, I know that the bolts shouldn't interfere with the heat shield line. So if I come inside of the line, or if I come out here, again, there's a little bit of a lip or a dip here. I'm at the step where I'm trying to install, or at least pre-drill, where I'm gonna put my kick damper. And you can see if it's installed, I put the bolt so it swivels here. And again, this is gonna be the front of the drum, and that's the back. Again, this can only be installed on the right-hand side based on this hinge at least. So you can see that I pre-drilled a hole here as well as here. This will be my stop. And when I come over here, this will be the other side where I have a stop. We've already asked Mark, and he says that you need to install the run where it's halfway open. So you need to find the exact half point, and then that's where you need to install run based on your sticker location. Okay, so we're getting to the inside of the drum, and a couple of things we need to consider. If you want to install the rib hanger, then you need to make sure that this is at least 6 5/8 down. And let me be more specific. This hole needs to be 6 5/8 down from the top of the lid in order to accommodate a rib hanger. Right now I've got my lip here at approximately 6 5/8 inch. That's where I'm gonna, because I just want a little bit extra room. So you can see how this is down just a little further. Once I did that, I laid my grate in, and they hold pretty well up with painter's tape. So you're able to slide it in, and then look, there's the proprietary sliding holes right there and there. And you can see I measured 6 5/8 down. Again, the same distance there, down, and then I marked the lip. And I marked this over here as well. And then I used a straight edge to draw all the way down. I used actually a giant right angle. Okay, I've installed all three, the brackets. I used painter's tape. Again, I aligned the holes, and I'm just checking for balance and levelness. And everything seems to look good, so I'm gonna start marking the holes to pre-drill those for the steel rivets. So wanted to briefly explain how I came up with the template. A buddy of mine actually had made this, thank you Curtis. And what he did was he found the holes using the smokestack, and then traced, measured in, able to do, I believe, a 2 5/8 hole, found center so you could use the larger drill bit to eventually or potentially pull that out. As far as closeness, I mostly overlapped it. When you have it on the back, you know, I roughly had it overlap about 3/4 of the way, kind of like that when it slides inside of it. So today I'm burning the pit, the barrel, and I just keep working it and keep turning it. You can see how it's blackening here. And the paint's turning black there, which is good. I want all this old paint to burn and sanitize the inside. I'm just gonna keep rotating it here about every 10 to 15 minutes. Keep fueling, keep putting fuel in there. So make sure you got lots of wood. Showing the final product after we're done. Notice how we've got a lot of black where the paint's burned. It's just dust. Inside it's all black. It's burned out. So we'll start sanding. So after burning out the drum, I spent some time sanding it. A lot of time sanding it, actually. Several hours. And what we're looking at is about a 400 sand grit after the burn. I did the sides, the bottom. You gotta get the lip here, and inside of here you can see I didn't get every single little bit of paint there, but I got the sides there. And it's real smooth. So we're gonna, first things first, I'm gonna put these rivets in. And when you get the Hunsaker kit, you get the GRATE holders with a pre-drill. I'm not sure what the size is, but I bought a 3/16 inch stainless steel rivet. So I need to make this just a little bit bigger, and I need to make the hole bigger on the GRATE holder too. Okay, we riveted everything in. We've got a final 400 grit sand. I left it out a few days and some rust developed for when I touched it. The oil left over started to rust, as well as some sweat drops that I saw on it. So make sure you have it completely clean. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use mineral spirits to put a final coat on it before I prime it. Real quickly, just kind of wanted to show you the interior. So I pop riveted the grates in using, and I got a rivet gun. So that was so easy versus the hand crank one. I ended up putting a little spacer in there because the ones I could get my hands on, the rivets were a little long. So I ended up putting a stainless steel washer right behind it. I don't know if you can see it, but now we're getting ready to paint.
New stuff right now, Gabby Bear and Charlie Booth. It's I Hope. 95.7 The Vibe.
After 4.5 paint cans of blue metallic, I came up with this. You can see that it didn't completely cover. I'm not really miffed about it. You know, it's a paint job that I did, so I think I did a pretty good job with the top. You know, got some glossy areas. But yeah, we're coming up on the final steps. I ran out of paint, had to order more, and it's a little windy outside, so just taking my time. But we're getting close to the final steps. Put a few more coats on it, and then put a clear coat on it, a few. I ran out, so I'm gonna go back up and grab another clear coat, but it's looking pretty good. There's some patchy spots you can see in the light. And how about I wanna go back and really make the shine as even as possible. It's gonna be real difficult to do that with the spray type, but trying to do my best. I'm pretty pleased with the overall colorness.
Bye.